Someone built a basement under this hut, a pocket of shadow meant to survive a raid. A folding table sits in the center. On it a sealed drive, a paper packet with cipher blocks, and a palm-sized contact transmitter. He does not touch the transmitter. He picks up the drive with a gloved hand and turns it until the label catches the light. No markings, no unit stamp, just a strip of tape and a handwritten number. A soft set of footsteps reaches the stairs behind him. He does not turn. He already knows the rhythm. "General, careful," says Captain Ella Cole. Ella is the task force medical officer, a calm presence that somehow survives every blast. She patched Samuel's shoulder 3 weeks ago when a drone strike hit too close. She worked through the night, hands steady, voice warm, as if pain could be negotiated into leaving. Now her voice is still warm, but something underneath it shakes. Samuel finally looks at her. Her face is pale in the basement light. Her eyes are locked on the drive as if it is a live grenade. "Why are you here?" he asks. "I followed the wounded." Ella swallows. "And I saw you go down. I did not want you alone." Samuel turns the drive slightly. "Do you recognize this?" "No." The word comes too fast. The lie is not in her tone, it is in her body. Her fingers flex once at her sides, like she is remembering a code. Samuel sets the drive on the table and reaches into his vest for a compact decoder. He is a soldier, but he is also a man who survived a career by trusting patterns. Weeks ago he noticed a scrap of numbers tucked into the seam of Ella's med bag. He told himself it was dosage math. He told himself that because he wanted to. Ella takes one step forward. "Do not plug it in." Her hand lifts, not to stop him by force, to stop him by pleading. Samuel freezes for half a second, then he connects the drive. The screen flares and the file structure loads with obscene speed. A map snaps into focus, marked with routes, stores and names. Names of forward positions. Names of supply dumps. Names of soldiers. At the bottom of the document sits a symbol. Not American, a stylized bird in flight, wings cut into sharp angles. And beneath it, a codename Nightingale. Samuel stares until his eyes burn. The basement suddenly feels smaller, as if the air has been replaced with sand. He says the word out loud, because not saying it would mean pretending. Nightingale. Ella does not move. She does not deny it. Her breath breaks like glass. Samuel's voice turns rough. "Is it you?" Tears gather in her eyes, bright and immediate. "Samuel, listen to me." He takes one step back, as if distance can protect him from the way his chest is splitting. Ella shakes her head, tears slipping free. "I did not come here to hurt you. I never wanted this." "You never wanted this," Samuel repeats, and his mouth tastes like metal. He gestures to the screen. "This is our next 3 months. Every corridor, every rotation. If this leaves the base, people die." "I know." Ella whispers. "I know what it means." He reaches for the transmitter. It is still warm, as if someone held it recently. Ella's gaze follows his hand. Panic flashes across her face. She lunges, not to attack, but to stop the moment. "Please," she cries. "Do not open it." Samuel twists away. His training is faster than her fear. The transmitter chirps once, a small, private sound. Then it begins to blink. He raises his eyes to Ella. "You are going to send this." Ella's lips part. No words come out. In the silence, the answer becomes undeniable. Samuel draws his sidearm. The movement is smooth because he has done it 1,000 times. It is ugly because he never imagined doing it with her in front of him. The barrel points at her chest. His hand does not shake. His heart does. "You are an enemy agent," he says. "And I am the man who has to stop you." Ella's shoulders sag like she has finally been allowed to feel the weight. She does not beg for her life. She looks at him as if she is losing her own home. "I am Nightingale," she says, voice breaking. "But what I feel for you is real." Samuel almost laughs. It would be a cruel sound, but the madness presses at him anyway. "Real," he repeats. "Was any part of it real?" Ella steps closer, slow as if walking toward a cliff. "If you pull that trigger," she says, "it will not fix what I did, it will just kill what we had." Samuel tightens his grip. In his mind, he sees the faces of the soldiers outside, the ones who call him sir. He sees the families he has promised to bring their kids home to. He sees Ella's hands, covered in blood that was never hers. His gun stays up. And yet he cannot fire. Boots pound overhead. Elias Gray's voice snaps through the static. "General, defense wants status, now." Samuel does not look away from Ella. "Tell them I found a leak," he says. "Tell them I am containing it." Elias hesitates. "Sir, is that Captain Cole with you?" Samuel swallows. "Yes." "Understood." Elias says, and the line clicks dead. Samuel lowers the gun by 1 inch. Hands where I can see them. He tells Ella. He bags the drive and transmitter, then points to the stairs. Up. He says. Outside, the cold hits like punishment. Samuel gives the only order he can. Lock this base down. He says. No one moves without me. The command tent is warm, but warmth is not comfort. It smells of coffee, maps, and the kind of fatigue that never leaves a leader's spine. Ella sits on a folding cot, hands in her lap. No chains, no handcuffs. Samuel does not need steel to trap her. All he needs is the gaze of his soldiers outside, and the law waiting in Washington. He stands across from her, arms folded, eyes hard. Start from the beginning. He says. Ella's throat works. My real name is still Ella. The code name came later. Who recruited you? Samuel asks. She flinches at the triple question marks, as if his disbelief has weight. A woman named Lena Rodriguez. She does not work for a flag. She works for leverage. Samuel's jaw tightens. Foreign intelligence. Yes. Ella admits. They used my family. My brother got in trouble. The kind that does not end with a fine. Did you steal the map? He asks. Ella looks at the floor. I copied it. I did not transmit it yet. Yet. Samuel repeats. The word is a knife. Ella lifts her chin, and for the first time the steel in her shows. You think I am proud of it. You think I do not know what it costs. Samuel's laugh comes out sharp. Do not lecture me about cost. Silence falls, thick as snow. Outside, boots pass in steady rhythm. The bass does not stop just because Samuel's world has cracked. Ella's voice turns smaller. I did not plan to love you. Samuel hates how the sentence lands. Like an apology, like a confession. He walks to the small table, pours water, does not drink. His hands refuse to be idle. You should have told me. He says. Ella's eyes shine. And watched you walk away. Samuel turns, anger rising because he cannot deny she is right. If she told him earlier, he would have reported her. He would have done his duty. He would have lost her before he ever held her. The truth is ugly. Part of him preferred ignorance. Elias enters without making noise. He salutes, then drops the formality when he sees Samuel's face. Sir, defense is escalating. Elias says. Marcus Petrov is on a secure video channel. Samuel's expression goes cold. Petrov is not a soldier. He is a man who wears power like perfume. Put him through. Samuel says. The screen flickers. Marcus Petrov appears, framed by the Pentagon's sterile light. His smile is polite. His eyes are not. General Walker. Petrov says. I hear you found something interesting. Samuel keeps his voice steady. We located a foreign relay and a classified theft attempt. Petrov's smile widens. And the suspect? Samuel glances at Ella, then back at the screen. In custody. Petrov leans closer. Bring the suspect to Washington, tonight. If it is who I think it is, we will make an example. Ella goes still. Elias shifts his weight, hand near his own sidearm without thinking. Samuel says. We are in the middle of an active sweep. I need 12 hours to stabilize the perimeter. Petrov's eyes sharpen. You need 12 hours or you want 12 hours? Samuel holds his gaze. I need it. Petrov nods as if granting a child a toy. Fine, 12 hours. Then you deliver Nightingale. Alive, preferably. Dead also works. The call ends. The tent feels colder. Ella speaks first, voice barely above a whisper. He wants me as a trophy. Samuel does not answer. He is staring at the blank screen, seeing the future in its reflection. A military tribunal. A televised confession. A bullet or a cage. Ella's breath shakes. Samuel, you should hand me over. I should. Samuel says, and the admission hurts. He looks at her. But I cannot. Ella stands, steps closer, and stops just out of reach. Her eyes are red, but her voice is steady. If you keep me here, she says. They will say you protected me. They will take your command. Samuel's mouth twists. Let them try. Ella's hands tremble as she lifts them, not to touch him, but to show how empty they are. I do not deserve your career, she says. Samuel takes a step forward, anger and grief mixing into something that does not have a name. You do not get to decide what I deserve. He says. You already decided plenty for both of us. Ella's breath catches. Samuel sees the moment she might break. He also sees the moment he might. He reaches for her, stops himself, then fails anyway. His hands settle on her shoulders, careful, as if she might shatter. I hate you. He says into the space between them. Ella closes her eyes. I know. His voice drops, rough and raw. And I still want you. Ella opens her eyes and the tears spill without warning. Then do it. She whispers. Kill me or forgive me, do not leave me in the middle. Samuel's arms tighten. His forehead rests against hers, a gesture that would be tender in any other life. I cannot kill you, he says. And I do not know how to forgive you. Ella lets out a broken sound that could be a sob or a laugh. Her hands rise and grip his uniform, the fabric that represents everything she betrayed. Elias turns his head toward the tent flap, giving them the smallest scrap of privacy. His voice is quiet when he speaks again. Sir, he says. I will stall Petrov as long as I can. Samuel does not lift his head. Thank you, he murmurs. Ella whispers. Why are you doing this? Samuel answers without thinking, because thinking would make him stop. Because when you saved me, he says. You made me believe in life again, and now I am supposed to destroy you. He pulls back just enough to look at her. Not yet, he says. Not like this. At 2:13 a.m., the contact transmitter chirps again. Ella jolts awake on the cot, heart hammering. Samuel has not slept. He sits at the table with the decoder, watching the tent like it might explode. Elias stands guard outside, rotating the sentries every hour so no one can claim weakness. The transmitter blinks. Samuel looks at it like it is a snake. You said you broke it, he tells Ella. I crushed the casing, she says, voice tight. There must be a backup channel. Samuel nods once. He does not blame her aloud. Blame is too easy. It lets him pretend he is not complicit. He lifts the transmitter with gloved fingers and routes it through the decoder, isolating the signal. A text payload loads, short and brutal. Execute phase black. Target Walker. Confirmation required. Failure means family consequences. Ella's face drains of color. Samuel watches her read it, watches her shoulders fold inward as if someone hit her from behind. Lena. Ella whispers. Samuel's voice goes soft in spite of him. Your handler. Ella nods, swallowing hard. She is telling me to kill you. Samuel waits for the punchline that never comes. He should feel triumph, proof of betrayal. Instead he feels a cold grief, because now he understands the cage Ella has been living in. Your family, he says. Ella's eyes fill. My mother, my brother, they keep them close. They call it protection. Samuel's jaw clenches. And if you do not obey, they die. Ella shakes her head, tears slipping down. I did not want you in this part of my life. Samuel stares at the message, then at the woman in front of him. He hears a thought form, quiet and terrible. If he dies, she might live. If he dies, her family might live. If he dies, the country keeps its hero, because martyrs are easier than scandals. Samuel sets the transmitter down. Do it, he says. Ella freezes. What? Samuel's voice is flat, as if he is reading an order. Kill me. Send confirmation. Save your family. Ella stumbles back. No. Samuel steps closer. Ella, if you do not comply, Petrov will take you. Lena will punish you. You lose either way. I do not care. Ella says, voice rising. I will not kill you. Samuel's eyes harden, not with anger, but with the resolve of a man who has made too many impossible calls. You think I am afraid to die? He asks. I have lived in death for years. You were the only thing that made it feel like living. Ella shakes her head violently. Stop saying that. Stop making this noble. Samuel reaches for the gun on the table, checks the chamber, then sets it down between them. He slides it forward. There, he says. One shot, center mass, end it. Ella stares at the weapon like it is burning. Her hands do not move. Samuel's voice breaks, a crack he cannot hide. If you love me, save your family. Ella's breath comes in sharp, uneven pulls. Then she does the opposite of what he expects. She grabs the transmitter, not the gun, and slams it onto the floor. She lifts her boot and stomps until plastic and circuitry scatter like teeth. Samuel grabs her wrist. That does not end it. It ends my obedience. Ella snaps, eyes blazing through tears. She yanks her wrist free. I will not be their weapon anymore. Samuel's throat tightens. And your family? Ella's face crumples. I will find a way. Samuel hears the raw truth in her voice. She is not choosing an easy love. She is choosing a love that will cost. The tent flap opens. Elias steps in, expression tense. Sir, he says. Petrov moved the deadline. He wants the prisoner transferred at dawn. Samuel's pulse slows, the calm before a storm. Of course he does. Samuel murmurs. Elias looks at Ella, then back at Samuel. They are sending a flight team. If you refuse, they will accuse you of aiding an enemy agent. Samuel's eyes flick to the corner where his uniform hangs, the shoulder stars catching the lantern light. He thinks of every soldier who trusted him. He thinks of Marcus Petrov smiling in the Pentagon. He thinks of Ella's family, faceless but real. Then he thinks of himself, 30 years old, already tired of killing for flags. He turns to Elias. How loyal are the men on perimeter detail? Elias blinks. Sir. Samuel keeps his voice low. Answer. Elias hesitates, then nods once. Most of them would follow you to hell. Samuel exhales. Good. I need 3 vehicles, non-registered, fuel, cold weather gear, and I need you to make it look like I complied. Elias goes still. You are not talking about a transfer, are you? Samuel looks at him, and for the first time he says it out loud. I am leaving. Samuel says. With her. Ella's eyes widen, horror and hope colliding. Samuel. She whispers. You cannot. Samuel's mouth tightens. Watch me. Elias swallows hard. His loyalty wars with his duty. He is a soldier. He is also a friend. If I help you. Elias says quietly. I become a traitor too. Samuel nods. I know. Elias closes his eyes for a second, then opens them with a decision made. I will do it. He says. But you need to understand what comes next. Samuel does not flinch. Hunt. Elias nods. Hunt. Ella's voice shakes. This is insane. Samuel walks to her, cups her face with both hands, a gesture that is almost gentle. You asked me not to leave you in the middle. He says. This is me choosing a side. Ella's tears spill again. I never wanted you to choose. Samuel presses his forehead to hers. Too late. Dawn arrives like a judgment. Petrov makes it public. He flies to the forward base with a camera crew under the excuse of transparency. He stands on the tarmac with flags behind him, smiling into the wind. Inside the hangar, Samuel walks toward the microphone in full dress uniform. Ella stands to the side, hands bound, head high. The restraints are for show. The story needs a villain. Petrov wants the crowd to see Samuel as the hero who does the right thing. Elias stands behind the formation, face blank. Only his eyes move. Petrov steps up and speaks first. Today, Petrov announces. We prove that no one is above law. Even enemies wearing our colors will be exposed. Samuel watches soldiers shift. Some look furious. Some look confused. None look happy. Petrov nods at Samuel. General Walker, you may proceed. Samuel steps to the microphone. He does not read from a prepared statement. He does not look at Petrov. He looks at the soldiers. Men and women of Task Force North. Samuel says, voice carrying. You followed me through ice and fire. You bled for this mission. You deserve truth. A murmur runs through the hangar. Samuel continues. Captain Ella Cole is Nightingale. She infiltrated us. She copied operational plans. Petrov smiles, satisfied. Samuel lifts his chin. And I found her. He says. I verified it. I could have shot her. I did not. Petrov's smile flickers. Samuel's voice deepens. Because she also saved American lives. She treated our wounded. She dragged bodies out of fire. She did not pull the trigger when she had the chance. Petrov steps forward, sharp. General, stick to the charge. Samuel turns slightly, finally looking at him. His eyes are calm, which is the most dangerous kind of anger. You want to charge? Samuel asks. He reaches up and unfastens the clasp on his shoulder. The stars come off with a soft click, as if they were never real. Gasps ripple through the formation. Samuel sets the insignia on the lectern. I resign. He says. Petrov's face tightens. You cannot just resign under investigation. Samuel's voice is steady. I can. Effective immediately. I am no longer under your command. Petrov's tone turns poisonous. You are throwing away your career for a spy. Samuel looks at Ella. Her eyes are wet, but she does not plead. She looks like someone waiting for a sentence. Samuel turns back to the soldiers. I am throwing away a life built on orders I no longer believe in. He pauses, then says the words Petrov cannot control. I will not execute her. Samuel declares. Chaos erupts. Voices rise. Boots scrape. A few soldiers step forward, confused by loyalty and law. Petrov's security detail moves, hands on weapons. Petrov points at Samuel, face red. Arrest him. Petrov shouts. Arrest the traitor. Samuel does not move. He simply raises his voice. Anyone who aims a weapon at me. He says. Better be ready to shoot, because I will not go quietly. Elias moves. Not fast, not dramatic, just decisive. He steps into the line of Petrov's security team, blocking their path with his own body. Two perimeter soldiers shift, mirroring him. The hangar holds its breath. Petrov's eyes widen. For the first time, his control slips. You will all be court-martialed. Petrov hisses. Samuel nods, almost sad. Maybe. Then Samuel walks to Ella. He takes the knife from his own belt and cuts the zip ties on her wrists. His hands are gentle, as if freeing her is the only clean thing he has done in months. Ella's wrists are red. She rubs them once, eyes locked on Samuel. Do not. She whispers. Do not burn your life for me. Samuel takes her hand. His grip is firm. I am done burning my life for people who would sacrifice you to win a headline. He says. Petrov lunges toward them, voice sharp. Walker, stop. Samuel does not stop. He turns, looks at Petrov, and speaks with a quiet that carries. You used her to break me. Samuel says. You will not get that satisfaction. Elias' voice cuts in, crisp. Vehicles are staged, sir. Samuel nods once. He pulls Ella with him, walking out of the hangar as if he still owns the base. A few soldiers step aside, some look away, some lift their chins in silent farewell. Petrov's shout follows them into the cold. Run while you can. Samuel does not look back. Ella clutches Samuel's hand so hard her fingers ache. Her voice breaks. They will hunt you. Samuel answers without hesitation. Let them. He says. I have been hunted before. They disappear into the white, the sound of the base fading behind them like a life closing its door. They avoid highways and phones, cutting across service roads and stretches of nothing. The first week is pure motion. Sleep comes in short bursts. Food is whatever fits in a pocket. Ella learns the rhythm of running beside Samuel. He never wastes a step. He never complains. When he stops, it is for a purpose: fuel, cover, distance. On the 8th night, they reach a derelict cabin used by survey crews. It has a stove, a door that almost locks, and a window that rattles in the wind. To Ella, it looks like a palace. Samuel stacks firewood. Ella cleans a cut on his hand without being asked. Habit is comfort when nothing else is. As she wraps the bandage, her voice shakes. This is my fault. Samuel does not look up. We are past fault. Ella presses the tape down. I ruined you. Samuel finally meets her eyes. His expression is tired, but not cold. You did not ruin me. He says. You revealed what was already rotten. Ella swallows. Petrov will not stop. I know. Samuel says. She takes a breath, then says the truth she has been carrying like a stone. Lena will not stop either. Samuel nods once. She will come for your family. For you. For me. Ella's hands tremble. If they catch us, you die first. Samuel's mouth twists. If they catch us, we both die. The wind hits the cabin harder, making the walls creak. It sounds like a warning. Ella pulls her jacket tighter and stares at the small flame in the stove. I never told you why I became Nightingale. She says. Samuel sits across from her, back to the wall, weapon within reach but not in hand. Tell me now. He says. Ella's voice is low. My brother got involved with a syndicate. They wanted to use him as a courier. He tried to walk away. They broke his ribs and left him in an alley. Samuel's eyes darken. Lena showed up at the hospital. Ella continues. She paid the bills. She promised protection. Then she showed me the price. Samuel does not interrupt. He has seen deals made in blood. He has just never seen one made with someone he loved. Ella's throat tightens. She said my family would be safe if I did what I was told. I believed her because I wanted to believe in anything. Samuel's voice goes quiet. And now you do not. Ella shakes her head. Now I believe in you. And that is even more terrifying. Samuel studies her face, then looks away as if emotion is a battlefield he does not want to enter. You should sleep. He says. Ella laughs softly, bitter. Sleep. Samuel's gaze returns, sharp. We need you alive. We need you clear. Ella nods. She lies down on the cot, still fully dressed, boots on. Her eyes stay open. Samuel sits in the chair by the window, watching the dark. A man like him does not sleep when hunted. He waits. Hours later, headlights sweep across the snow outside. Samuel rises in silence and signals Ella with one hand. She sits up instantly, fear turning her blood cold. Voices drift through the wind. Not soldiers shouting, not agents barking commands. Two people talking calmly as if they own the night. Samuel whispers. Stay behind me. Ella nods. The cabin door rattles. A knock lands, polite, almost mocking. Captain Cole. Calls a woman's voice. I know you are in there. Ella's lungs lock. She knows that voice. She has heard it through a transmitter for years, always distant, always controlled. Lena Rodriguez. Samuel grips his weapon, but he does not aim yet. He looks at Ella. How many did she bring? Ella shakes her head, voice barely there. She never comes alone. Lena knocks again. Open up. She says. We can end this cleanly. Ella stands, steps forward, then stops. Her hands shake, but her eyes harden. She calls back, voice loud enough to carry. You threatened my family. You lied to me. I am done. Lena's laugh is soft. Done? You do not get to be done. Samuel moves to the door, positions himself beside it. He calls out, voice calm. This is U.S. territory. Identify yourself. Lena answers smoothly. A concerned citizen. Samuel's lips tighten. He looks at Ella, then makes a choice. He opens the door, weapon raised. Lena stands in the snow, elegant in a dark coat, hair pulled back, eyes bright with amusement. Two men flank her, hands hidden in their pockets. Lena's gaze slides to Ella. There you are. Ella steps into view, behind Samuel's shoulder. She keeps her chin up. Lena's smile fades. You were my best asset. Ella's voice turns cold. I was your hostage. Lena sighs. Hostage is such an emotional word. Samuel shifts his stance. Leave. Lena looks at Samuel as if seeing him for the first time, then she smiles again. So you are the hero who fell in love. She says. How American. Samuel does not bite. Leave or I shoot. Lena tilts her head. If you shoot me, your headlines get worse. Petrov will call you a murderer. Your people will thank him. Samuel's eyes narrow. Lena knows too much. She has leverage everywhere. She steps closer, slow, hands visible. Give me Ella. She says, voice turning sharp. And I will let you keep breathing. Ella's stomach flips. Samuel does not move. No. Samuel says. Lena's eyes harden. Then your family dies, Ella. That is the rule. Ella steps forward, voice shaking with rage. My family is not your rule. Lena's smile returns, thin as wire. They are already on a list. Samuel fires into the snow beside her boots. The shot cracks through the night. Back up. He snarls. The men flinch. Lena only smiles once. This is not over. She says and retreats to the vehicles. Headlights swing away, leaving the cabin quiet again. Ella sinks onto the cot, shaking. Samuel closes the door and locks it with the chair, though he knows wood will not stop bullets. He sits beside her, and for the first time since the basement, his hand finds hers without hesitation. We will get your family. He says. Ella looks at him through tears. How? Samuel's voice is steady. I still have friends. And Petrov made enemies. We use that. Ella swallows, then nods. Outside, the wind screams. Inside, their fingers tighten together like a vow. Spring arrives late in the mountains of Colorado. Snow clings to the shade, but sunlight finally begins to win. It feels like a miracle that the world can soften after so much violence. They live under different names now. Samuel is just Sam. Ella is just Ellie. A small cabin sits on the edge of national forest land, far from cell towers and far from headlines. They pay cash. They keep their curtains drawn at night. They plant a garden as if planting anything can anchor a life. Samuel chops wood in the morning. Ella drives to a small clinic in the nearest town twice a week, offering help under the table. She treats sprained wrists, fevers and stubborn old men who refuse to rest. No one asks too many questions. In rural places, privacy is a form of kindness. They do not talk about the past every day. If they did, it would swallow them. But some nights the past climbs into bed with them anyway. On one such night, rain taps the roof like soft fingers. Samuel sits on the floor, cleaning a rifle he hopes he will never need. Ella sits on the couch, reading a worn paperback she found at a thrift store. Neither of them is really reading. They are listening for the world. Ella breaks the silence first. Do you regret it? She asks. Samuel looks up. Regret what? Everything. Ella says. Losing your command, running, choosing me. Samuel sets the rifle down carefully as if the question could fire. He considers the ceiling, the rain, the quiet. Then he says. Sometimes I miss the men. Ella nods, throat tight. Samuel continues. Sometimes I wake up and expect a radio call. Sometimes I remember the day I pinned on those stars and I feel like I buried a version of myself. Ella's hands twist in her lap. And me? Samuel stands and crosses the room. He kneels in front of her, close enough that she can feel his breath. And you? He says. Are the reason I can still look in a mirror. Ella's eyes fill. I betrayed you. She whispers. Samuel shakes his head. You saved me. You also lied to me. Both are true. Ella laughs, small and broken. That is not a comforting answer. Samuel's mouth lifts at one corner. It is the only honest one. He reaches up and wipes a tear from her cheek with his thumb. No more missions. He says. No more handlers, no more Petrov, no more Lena. Ella's voice shakes. You cannot promise that. Samuel looks at her steadily. I can promise what I will do. Ella leans forward and rests her forehead against his. For a moment, the world is only the sound of rain. Then the satellite phone on the table buzzes. A single vibration. A code they set for emergencies only. Samuel's body goes still. Ella's heart stutters. Samuel reaches for the phone and checks the message. His eyes scan, then soften. It is Elias. He says. Ella's breath releases in a shaky exhale. Is he alive? Samuel nods. He says Petrov is under investigation. Corruption. Black budget deals. He made too many enemies. Ella presses a hand to her mouth. And Lena? Samuel reads the last line, then looks up. Your family is out. He says. Elias says a federal team pulled them from a safe house in Arizona. They are being relocated. Ella stares at him. For a second she cannot understand the words. Then she makes a sound that is half sob, half laugh. Out. She repeats. They are out. Samuel nods. Lena tried to stop the extraction. She failed. Ella's shoulders shake. She covers her face and the tears come in a flood that feels like years of fear leaving her body. Samuel pulls her into his arms and holds her until the storm outside feels like background noise. He kisses the top of her head. You are free. He murmurs. Ella clings to him like she is afraid the sentence will vanish. I do not know how to be free, she says. Samuel's voice is quiet. We learn. Days later, they hike to a ridge above the cabin. The air smells of pine and wet earth. Wildflowers push through the last stubborn patches of snow. They sit in the grass, looking down at a valley that does not care who they were. Ella rests her head on Samuel's shoulder. Her voice is soft. Do you think anyone will forgive us? Samuel does not answer right away. He watches a hawk circle high above them, alone and unbothered. I do not need the world to forgive us. He says finally. I need us to forgive ourselves. Ella's fingers slide into his. She squeezes once. Then start with me. She whispers. Samuel turns and kisses her, slow, careful, as if love is something that must be rebuilt brick by brick. Below them, the valley stays quiet. No sirens, no orders, no flags. Just a life, small and stubborn, growing back from the blade's edge. The end.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.